So that was it. 4-1. Now we are ready with Jake Wood. First up, young man hitting .206. He knocked in Detroit one run in the first game. The Yankees matched it in 7, then got 3 in the last half of the night on the home run. The outfield shaded around toward left. Wood, a right-hand hitter. Curley's fastball is high inside, ball 1. Whitey Ford was scheduled to pitch in this doubleheader today, but after throwing some yesterday, the shoulder didn't feel right. It tightened again. So Turley gets the tag. Big right-hander delivers and has the ground ball hit to short. Stretches up with it. The long throw is in time, and Wood is out. 1-1 away. Start of matters. Game 2. Naturally no score. And we have Bill Bruton hitting at .288. He came in here hot, but he's been stopped the last 2 games. Outfield shades him to right. Left-hand batter. Infield swings around toward first. And Bruton is hit with a pitch ball. It seemed to be a curve that he turned, and in turning away from it, he turned into it. The ball was curving toward him, so he's on. Hit on the backside as he turned. Hit with a pitch. Now we have Charlie Maxwell playing right field with Kaline hurt. Left-hand hitter. They have to play him to pull and also to hit the distance. Infield overshifted toward first and in double play depth. Bruton fakes to go but doesn't. Capitone holding first base. Bruton can and does take a long lead. He's active. Charlie taking the sign. Bruton fakes scoring, pitches low, ball 2. 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Kelly, as he goes into his set position with the runner back to first, keeps the ball in his glove, not in his pitching hand. He doesn't touch the ball with the pitching hand until he comes absolutely set. Delivers a strike, and it is 2-1. I would say the reason that Turley does that is that in the past, in carrying the ball in his pitching hand, somebody must have been reading by the way he held it. So that is one way to stop them from seeing how you hold the ball in your pitching hand. You just don't ever have it in your pitching hand until you're throwing it. Big fella steps. Delivers high inside, ball 3. 3-1. Maxwell takes a look at the third base coach, George Meyer. See what may or may not be on. Cabaretta coaching at first. 3-1 delivery. High outside, ball 4. Maxwell walks, and this pitches Bruton, of course, all down to second. So a hit bat on the base on ball, and we've got 2 on with 1 down, no score. And we have Norm Cash, the slumping defending batting champion. He's had 1 hit in this series, a single in the first game today. He's hitting at .230, which is 131 points less than he won the batting title with last year. Left-hand batter, stands rather close to the plate. Very quick wrist. Takes a curveball into the hands, good for a called strike. The bulletin on the scoreboard says Whitey Ford out today, shoulder strain, not fully healed. Curley pitching in Ford's place. Fields. Fastball swung on, hit to the right side. Second, and it hits the runner, Charlie Maxwell, and he's automatically out. He is automatically out. The runner, Bruton, has to go back to second base. It's a dead ball. Cash is awarded first base. and is automatically credited with a base hit. The second baseman, Richardson, who was the closest infielder to the runner when he was hit with the ball, is automatically credited with the out. So, Kaz hits the runner. Gets a single for it. That's the way the scoring rules call for it. Dead ball. So, runners at first and second. One way to get a base hit, isn't it? That now is Calavito. They set the scoring on it years ago to avoid all the arguments that happened before they had that rule. In other words, what would you do about it anyhow? How would you try and rule it? There's the second baseman set to take a ground ball, which hits the runner and kicks away. If you allowed that to happen, you'd have runners going into ground balls all day long. That's what they used to do, and that's why they set this rule the way we have it now. Calavito swings at the long fly ball to deep left center field. There's Maris going out, turning, makes the catch in deep left center, and that is all for the Bears. No runs, one hit, two men left, and the score at the end of half an inning of the second game, Detroit nothing, the Yankees coming in.
That's a bouncing ball. And here's news about service that's on the ball. Atlantic Red Ball Service. Stop at any Atlantic station with a Red Ball sign. Buy as much gasoline as you want. Weather permitting, your Atlantic dealer guarantees to check your oil and clean your windshield, or you'll get your money back, your gasoline purchase free. This unusual guarantee was started by Atlantic dealers. They make the offer at their expense, so they're sure to give you top service every time. Remember, you get your gasoline free, your money back, if your Atlantic dealer fails to check your oil and clean your windshield. Get this guaranteed Red Ball service now, only at the Atlantic Red Ball sign. This offer may vary in states such as Massachusetts and New Jersey.
Half of the first inning, it'll be Richardson, then Fresh, and then Pepitone. Bobby hitting at 256. We have no score. Paul Fortak, starting pitcher in this second game for Detroit. Mike Rourke is his catcher. Curveball is good for a strike. The way he's tossing. Cash is at first base. Wood is at second. Fernandez is at short, and the third baseman is McAuliffe. Calavito in left. Burton in center. Maxwell in right. Fastball high inside, and it's 1-1. Ball and strike. Cazzetti coaching at third, Moses at first. Fastball is hit foul outside third base, just missing. One and two. Cleveland has won its single game at Washington 5-3, if you hadn't heard. Fortak delivers a breaking ball way high inside, 2-2. Two balls, two strikes. The Yankees take to the road for a week after this one. Serve, reach for foul tip. And it shakes up the catcher. I think he's got Fortak on the right at wrist. However, he shakes it off. It automatically goes that if you're going to catch, you've got to be rugged. If you can't stand pain, you can't catch. Same thing with umpiring. 2-2 pitch. Curve, low outside. Bobby checked his swing. Ball 3. 3-2. We'll be interested in the attendance tickets when they come in. This is certainly the biggest crowd of the year. Biggest attraction we've had this year. Sure had the weather, too, haven't we? 3-2 pitch. Swung on, hit back through the mound. Back to second base. Fernandez cannot make the play, and Richardson is on. Fernandez, in coming up with the ball by second base, cannot pick it up cleanly, and it is a base hit. A single through the middle. Rizzuto would say a single up the middle, which is perfectly understandable when you realize how many years he spent as a batter, because that's the way he would see it from a batter's standpoint, up the middle. From up here in the booth, why, it's through the middle. Now we have Tresh, pitch hitting kid shortstop, batting left-handed against right-hander Fortag, taking one wide. Ball 1. Richardson at first base. Cash bowling against him. We have no score in the second game. The Yankees took the first in 4-1. Throw to first, nothing doing. Fortech ready. Deals. The third swung and missed. For a strike. 1-1. Position, delivers, Saraswan hit right back to him. Pitches throw it to the shortstop at second. The relay to first. Not in time. Tresh is on. So it's a forced play for Tresh. Richardson fourth. Pitches to the shortstop second. One out. Now we have Pepitone. Joe is hitting at 298. He's been timing. He had 2 hits in the first game, 2 for 3. Last 5 games, Pepitone's had 9 hits. Takes the change off the fastball, high outside, ball 1. Best takes the lead off first. Steps back on. Fortech standing off the rubber. Rubbing the ball. Delivers. Fastball wide. Ball 2. 2-0. Nothing pitch. Swung on a ground ball. Hit to second. And Wood fumbles it. Recovers, has to go to first base. He gets the batter, but he does not get the lead man who reaches second on the fumble. There's no error as he got 1. So Pepitone is out, second to first. Had Jake come up with the ball cleanly, he could have made the play at second base. Now we have Roger Maris, who has slipped down to 266. He's in a slump. Outfield is around toward right. Infield overshifted likewise. Crash at second. Fortech, a right-handed pitches. Maris swinging late, hits a foul ball into the left field lower stand. Roger hasn't been, his swing has been out of the groove. He doesn't seem to be getting around on the ball. He and Howard and Scowen were talking at noon today about bats. Which bats they were going to use. And Roger was going to change around. He was going to use this one. Pitch is swung on as a ground ball to the right side. Wood comes up with it. Keeps it going through close to first. And it's a base hit, however. He made a fine play to prevent Tresh having any chance to score. Maris beats it out for a base hit. second baseman. Wood did very well to get to the ball. And to go back to what we were saying, Maris, looking at the bat he held very ruthless, said, well, I'm going to use it today. He said, but I'll tell you the truth. When you're going well and hitting, it doesn't make a difference what bat you use. And when you're not hitting, I don't think it makes any difference either. Now we have John Blanchard. Blanchard's hitting .236. Left-hand batter. 6 high outside. Ball 1. And Baltimore in the 11th inning won at Boston 4-2. Pitch wide. Ball 2. 2-0. Milwaukee beat St. Louis in a single game 4-3. After the first inning, Sanchez takes a strike. Quick curve got in there. 2-1. Right-hander sets, delivers. There's one thrown past him. Sanchez going after the fastball. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sanchez with a square stance. Takes an outside serve, and it is ball 3. 3-2. Open at second. No score. 2 men out. Wartak delivers. Blanchard touches the ground ball to the first baseman and simply steps on the bag for the third out. That's all there was to that. No runs, 2 hits. So at the end of an inning, it is 0-1-0 for Detroit, 0-2-0 for New York, and the Yankees took the first game 4-1. Now we've got Dick McAuliffe, the left-hand hitting third baseman, young man from Connecticut, first up in the second inning. Bob Shirley delivers, and it's a fastball on the outside, ball 1. Shirley hit a batter, walked one the first inning, but got out of it. No score. They played this fellow to hit to right. Swings and instead pops it up foul. It's close to the third base stand. There's Boyer over. And he's got it. One away, and shortstop Fernandez. McAuliffe went up there hitting at .299. Fernandez comes up there at .250. Fernandez has had an erratic series. I believe that's the word. Pitch there for a call strike. Made 3 hours out here Friday night, and yet hit the home run that won the ball game. Curveball swung on and missed. I will tell his big side armor. 0-2. Bob has not reported so much as an ache or a twinge in the pitching elbow that was operated on right after the World Series. Fastball hit right back to him. Big pitcher takes it, throws over to first to Pepitone, and we have 2 men out. Mike Rourke, catcher. He had to carry the load last year when Dick Brown was hurt several weeks. Brown has been doing most of the catching this year. Rourke has 1 hit out of 7 at-bats to tell you how infrequently he has been in there. There's a quick serve for a called strike. If Shirley can step in and be the man at the dice, it'll be very welcome. Fastball is low inside, ball one. Arroyo's on the disabled list with a bad arm. Ford is having to skip a turn. One pitch. Hey, another curveball over. Another strike. 1-2. Charlie deals. Change the pace high inside. Ball two. Bob is not using a pumping move. What he's using sort of seems sort of like he'd been taking lessons in the twist. Sort of sachets around. Delivers, and there's a foul ball back. He's taking, instead of the vertical pumping move, he's taking one horizontal. He sort of switches toward third and then swings back into it. Two balls, two strikes. Have no score. Curveball is in there. Call strike three. He's deadly, walks away. Nothing across. And at the end of the inning and a half, game two, the score: Detroit, naught, and New York, 0. Here we go with Elston Howard taking ball one. The pitch inside as we move into the last half of the second inning. Scoreless second game. The Yankees took the opener 4-1. They're tied with Cleveland. Cleveland played and won a single game at Washington 5-3. First place is still joint possession. Curveball from Fortak is good for a called strike. Howard had a base hit in the first game. He's hit safely in 8 straight. There's a high fly hit to deep left center. Bruton is going out. Center fielder under it. Man, he can play it out there, you know him. And he makes it look easy. Hector Lopez stepping in. One man down. It's wonderful to watch, especially the center fielders here at the stadium, because they got room to field. And we see some crocodiles come through. Ball over for a strike. Hector Lopez. Howard went up there 260. Lopez is up there now at 250. Fortak delivers. Curveball in. Strike two. Paparella says, bring the ball in. I want to examine it. He's looking it over. He is eyeing it intently. And he gives it a passing grade and returns it to action. Nothing in two. Sidearm fastball is swung on and missed. Lopez couldn't quite check his swing, and Fortak had him tied up. All right, 2 men are down, and now we have Boyer. Boyer hitting at 320. He went back to work. Let me see something. How many hits did he have in the first game? He had 2. Fortak gives him a curve, low outside. Ball one. Right-hand hitter. Takes the fastball good for a called strike. Fortak coming down sidearm on some of these fast hits with these right-hand hitters. No score. Sit down. Outside, ball two. 1-1. Big ball game for both ball crowds. The Yankees fighting to take first place, and Detroit fighting to close in. Curve, low outside, ball 3. With the pitcher following, it does not figure that Boyer will get anything too fat. That's the way these pitchers figure. Change of pace, low outside, ball 4. So Boyer's on, based on balls. And Bob Turley has not yet emerged from the Yankee dugout. There he comes now. There is Mr. Bob Shepard's announcement. Turley tried to check his swing on a fastball, and he was hooked. Strike 1. At Fortack, he's got a sun and shadow pattern back up, and he's making that ball do things. Strike 1 pitch, curve, low outside, ball 1. This is the time of day when the shadow of the triple-deck stadium begins marching across the infield. The pitcher is standing just in shadow, and the batter's background is all sun. So the ball is thrown actually from the sun, comes into the shadow. There is strike 2 swinging. He side-armed him in there again. It's quite a factor. I know that just sitting back up here at this time of the day, it is much harder to see the pitch. And sometimes the ball is hit and you can't tell for a second whether it's going out or coming back foul. Sidearm pitch way outside, ball 2. 2-2. Because from our point of vantage, we are looking into the sun, and the ball is coming into the shadow. In other words, while the ball is in shadow, your vision, and the effect of your eyes, is in sun. 2-2 pitch, swung on, foul back. Bounced in the visiting radio box past George Kell, Ernie Harwell. Bounced back out again. Right, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fortack delivers. Shirley strikes out on the sidearm fastball. He frames him. So, at the end of 2 innings of the second game, it is no runs, 1 hit, and no errors for Detroit. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for New York. The pitcher Fortack is the first batter for Detroit. The Tigers have won 2 games. The Yankees won the first today in this 4-game series. So, there we stand. Bob Shirley getting the stars from Ford's shoulder. Wasn't right. Fires a strike. Fastball. Nothing in 1. Scoreboard Bulletin says in 1961, Shirley was 0-2 versus the Tigers, 13-12 lifetime. There's a breaking ball high outside, ball 1. 1-1. Ground ball is hit foul outside first base. Shirley does not work rapidly. He's in no hurry. Takes his time, goes to the rosin bag. Now he's looking for the sign. Twist delivers. Strike 3. A high inside curveball that Fortack went after. 2 2 strikeouts for Bob. Now we have Jake Wood, who was thrown out short to first in the first inning. The only hit out, Kelly, is an automatic one. Cash hit a ground ball that hit a runner. Kelly is pitching sidearm and 3/4 overhand. Delivers inside, ball 1. Well, here's the paid attendance. 46,776. 46,776. Wood hits a pop fly into short right field. Second baseman Richardson backs out. He's under it. He has it. 2 outs. This is by far the largest crowd at the stadium, and it's the largest crowd in the American League this year. The total crowd here today was servicemen just for the Yankees, and that includes the crew of the rescue airplane that spotted latest astronaut Carpenter. 47,680. The largest crowd in baseball in the National League this year was out at Los Angeles. Let's see, Bruton hits the ground ball to second baseman Richardson. There's a throw to Pepitone, and Bruton is out. April 10, Cincinnati out at L.A., 52,564. Now the score at the end of 2.5 innings, second game, remains Detroit nothing, New York nothing. Okay, Mr. Barber. All yours. 3 more outs, huh? All mine for 3 more outs?
Yes, sir.
First up, last of the 3rd inning is Richardson, then Fresh, then Pepitone. Bobby swings and lines it in center. Base hit. Solid single. This gives him 2 for 2. Trash hit into a 4th play in the first inning. We have no score in the second game. Trash swings, hits the ball out to right field. Maxwell comes on and makes a one-handed catch. Well, you could see that Collie started a full step late because he couldn't see the ball coming out of the shadow. Now we have Pepitone stepping in. Phil, at this time of day, just how tough is the shot of sun pattern here at the stadium?
Brad, this is the toughest time of day here at Yankee Stadium and any time during the year. The ball comes from the shadow into the sun or from the sun into the shadow, and you lose it momentarily. That's why it's so tough at the plate, too, Red.
Now we have Joe Pepitone hit the ground ball to second the first inning. Swings and does not get a high outside slider. Strike 1. The lights are a little help right now because there is too much glare from the sky and the sun. In other words, it's been a beautiful day, and at the moment, as far as the players are concerned in this pattern, it's too pretty a day. You got visibility today just as far as eye will let you see. I don't think the lights will make any impression at all. Not now. They will. There's a pitch swung on, fouled off. But this has been a beautiful afternoon from the weather standpoint. I mean, the whole thing has held. Wind, temperature, humidity, it's been just consistent all afternoon. No clouds at all up above. One-two pitch, there goes the runner. Pitch is taken. There's the throw, and he is safe. He steals it. Richardson steals it. And the steal was on. Pepitone wasn't swinging. All right, 2-2. So Bobby makes it. He's now at the pickup point. We have no score. Pepitone cuts and strikes out. The ball is dropped by catcher Rourke, throws down to first base, and there's Richardson going over to third base on the throw to first. So Pepitone strikes out and is retired, but catches to the first baseman. And on that sequence, Richardson goes over and takes third base. There's Roger Maris punting at a pitch, trying for a base hit, of course, and he bunts above a curveball. There's no score. There's a high fly ball hit deep out to center field. Gooden makes the catch, and that is it. No run, one hit, one man left, no errors. Now we got Rizzuto coming over here, and he'll take you along the way. Okay, Red. No doubt about it, flavor is what matters most in a cigarette. And for the most flavor in any filter cigarette, Bobby Richardson, with 2 stolen bases in the bottom of the third inning, now has stolen 6 bases in 7 attempts. On the scoreboard, Baltimore beat the Red Sox 4-2, scoring 2 runs in the top of the 11th. Stock the winner, Radis the loser. Brooks, Robinson, Snyder, and Gentile homered. Gentile's 15th for the year. Cleveland beat Washington 5-3. Perry the winner, Daniels the loser. Francona and Kirkland homered for Cleveland. Johnson for the Senators. Minnesota 3, the White Sox 2 at the end of 5. Cott against Herbert. Los Angeles 2 and Kansas City 3. The A's leading 3-2 at the end of 7. Duran against Wickersham. In the National League, it's the Giants 6 and the Mets 1 at the end of 7.5. Moorhead against Miller. Haller homered in the 8th. Phillies nothing, the Dodgers nothing at the end of an inning and a half. Brown against Williams. Roseboro just homered in the 2nd with 1 on, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. Pittsburgh 2, Houston 1 at the end of 4. Law against Johnson. Cincinnati leading the Cubs 7-0 at the end of 5.5. Girard against Turkey. Coleman and Pinson have homered, and Milwaukee beat the Cardinals 4-3. Shaw the winner, Gibson the loser. Charlie Maxwell up there. Swings and hits the pitch to right center field. Maris is moving to his left. Under it in the bright sunshine and makes the catch. 1 away. No score here in the top of the 4th of the 2nd game. Yankees won the first one 4-1 as Bill Skowron drove in all 4 runs for the Yankees. Had a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th and an infield single to drive in the first run. Pitch is outside, ball 1. The pitch to Cash, low, ball 2. Nothing count on Norm Cash. Takes the pitch low, ball 3, 3-0. Cash got a gift single his first time up when Charlie Maxwell, running from first to second, got in the way of Cash's slow ground ball. Would have been an easy out. And Norm will take anything he can get right now. He's in a little bit of a slump. Fastball right down the middle, 3-1. Before I told you Bobby Richardson had stolen 2 bases last inning. He only stole 1. He went to third on the fielder's choice when Pepitone struck out. The catcher dropped the ball and threw to first base. So if you're scoring, take that stolen base away from Richardson. He gets 1, not 2. Cash walks on an outside fastball. Second walk given up by Shirley. Brings up Rocky Colavito. Colavito fly to center field in the first inning. Cash had 1 hit in the first game. Colavito was 0 for 3. On deck, Dick McAuliffe.
Cash at first with one out. Pepitone holding him close to the bag. Curve is on the outside corner. Strike one call. Al Kaline is in the Detroit clubhouse. Mickey Rendine went down to pick him up, brought him out. Kaline is leaving with the team after the game, and Al has one of those rough casts on his arm, with his arm almost straight up in the air. Ground foul outside of third. Kaline will be sidelined for close to 2 months. Al was having one of his best years. Tough break for the young outfielder, and also a rough break for the Tigers, who seem to be making their climb toward the top. 0-2 on Colavito. Cash leads away. Pitch to Rocky is a curve just outside. Ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Then Curley sets. Checks the runner. Fastball is outside. Ball 2. 2-2. Cleveland, by defeating Washington, remains in a tie with the Yankees for first place. The Indians and Senators were just playing a single game, as was Baltimore and Boston. Ready for the 2-2 pitch. A pop-up right side of the infield. Richardson comes in. Pepitone. Look out. And Pepitone makes the catch with Richardson brushing on. Just did brush his right arm. They were both yelling for the ball. But Pepitone made the play. It's not too bad when you got one fella that's quite a bit taller than the other, and both are going after the fly ball, because one guy can reach a little high. But when you got two guys the same size going for it, that's when you usually see the trouble. Dick McCullough fouled out to third base in the second inning. 2 outs. No score in the top of the 4th. On deck, Chico Fernandez. Stretched by Charlie. Pitch to McCullough right in there. Strike one called. Red Barber was saying before how rough it is this time of the day here at the stadium. I remember fellas like Red Ruffing and Ted Lyons would only pitch on second games of a doubleheader on Sundays here at the stadium. Whenever Lyons and the White Sox would come in, or when Ruffing was with the Yankees, they'd throw overhand from out of the crowd in the bleachers. Tough for the batter to pick up that high fastball. Foul back in the upper deck. 0-2. Now they do have a black canvas that they drop, which gives the batter a little better break. But still, this time of the day, it's tough to pick up that ball. Not that Ruffing or Lyons had to pitch second games of doubleheaders, because they were great pitchers. But they were that much more effective. Here's the stretch. The pitch is fouled down the left field line, going back in the seat. Out of play. Still 0-2 on the left-hand hitting Dick McCullough. Norm Cash at first base. He walked a little while ago. Curley's curve is swung and missed. Strike 3. And that's strikeout number 3 for Curley. For Detroit in the top of the 4th, no runs, no hits, no Yankee errors, 1 man left. And at the end of 3.5, Detroit nothing and the Yankees nothing. Johnny Blanchard leads off for the Yankees. Johnny bounced out to first base in the first inning. John played right field in the first game, had 1 hit and 4 times at bat. Paul Foytak's fastball hit high in the air to right. Plenty far enough, but it's curving foul and back in the upper deck, out of play. Man, Blanchard hit a towering fly that time. Way in the upper deck, but foul. On deck, Elston Howard. The curve is on the outside corner. 0-2 to Blanchard. Joe Paparella calling balls and strikes. Bill Kinnaman at first. Hank Storr at second. John Rice at third. Nobody out, nobody on. This is the bottom of the fourth. No score. Line drive, base hit to right field. On a 0-2 pitch, Foytak hung the curveball, and Foytak kicks at the dirt around the pitching rubber. He knows he made a mistake. Anytime you hang that curve, especially with a 0-2 count, that's hit number 4 off Foytak. Elston Howard swings and hits a fly to deep right center. Bruton going, and makes a running one-hand catch. A beautiful play by Billy Bruton. I never thought he'd get up to that ball. It seemed to be tailing away from him, and he was going at full speed, and just as he hit the dirt pot in deep right center field in front of the auxiliary scoreboard, he stumbled a little but made a brilliant running one-hand catch. Took a triple away from Howard. Fine play by Billy Bruton. One out, here's Hector Lopez, called out on strikes in the second inning. Boy, they had an oddity. The Phillies at Los Angeles. Johnny Roseboro hit a 2-run homer, or so he thought, but Frank Howard, who was on base, failed to tag third base and was called out, so Roseboro did not get credit for the homer. There's a strike on the inside corner. If it was the last out of the inning, then Roseboro just gets credit for a double. Fastball is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was the fielding gem of the day right there, pulled off by Billy Bruton. Stretched by Foytak. Curve in there, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Clete Boyer on deck. Outside, the count even at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes on Hector Lopez. Johnny Blanchard at first, leading away. Slow curve foul back in the mezzanine. Fella had a big can of popcorn, never dropped the popcorn, and caught the ball one-handed. Two and two. Foytak's working very slow. Here's his pitch. The curve is right in there. Strike 3 called, and Lopez pounds the bat down. He knew it. A strike right over the heart of the plate. Second time Hector's gone down on strikes, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Foytak. Brings up Clete Boyer, who walked in the second inning. 2 away now. 0-0 the score. Bottom of the 4th. Blanchard opened the inning with a single, is on first. Curve foul back in the upper deck, out of play. Strike 1. Whitey Ford was scheduled to pitch one of the games today, but the reason he's not pitching, due to the shoulder strain suffered in his last start on May 22nd against Los Angeles. That was a game in which Whitey had pitched 7 innings and had not allowed a hit. Paul Foytak, who was 1-2 and lost 1, on the mound for Detroit. Curve is fouled back on the screen. 0-2 on Boyer. Nothing in 2 is the count. Foytak checks the sign. Quick throw to first, Blanchard back. Johnny was off just about a foot. Strike 3. Threw the bat at the ball and went all the way down the first base line, but he missed. He was fooled on the curveball. And that's strikeout number 4 for Foytak. For the Yankees, no runs, 1 hit, no Tiger errors, 1 man left. At the end of 4, it's still the Tigers nothing and the Yankees nothing. Chico Fernandez leads off. Chico hit back to the box in the second inning. Bob Turley on the mound for the Yankees in this second ball game. Pitch to Chico, low, ball 1. Fastball over, strike 1, 1-1. Curley comes back with a fastball fouled back off the screen. One ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out, nobody on. Yankees won the first game 4-1. Pitch to Chico. Look out. Curve way inside, 2-2. Two fastball hit on the ground to third. Boyer backs up a step. The long throw in time to get Fernandez 1 away. Brings up Mike Rourke, the catcher. Rourke called out on strikes in the second inning. Pitch to Rourke, a swing and a foul over towards the Tiger dugout, strike 1. Dick Brown caught the first game for Detroit. Rourke has been about only 8 times this year, has 1 base hit. He bats him right-handed. Curveball is hit on the ground to third. Boyer charges this one. On the short hop, fires to Pepitone for the out. 2-away. Very seldom do you see Clete Boyer let a ball play him. He has that uncanny knack of seeming to know when a ball's going to take a bad hop or when he should come in or go back on a ball. Here is Paul Foytak coming up. Foytak struck out in the third inning. 2 out, nobody on. 0-0 the score. Turley's fastball is hit on the ground. Turley backhands a nice play off the mound. Throws to first in time for the out. Good hustling play by Bob Turley as he sets Detroit down in order in the top of the 5th. And at the end of 4 1/2, it's Detroit nothing and the Yankees.
Right now, before the action starts in this inning, we're going to remind you that this is WOKO Radio in Albany, New York. 1460 on your dial. The time is 8 minutes past 6.
One base hit, and the Yankees have 4. Pitch to Charlie is over, strike one call. And Detroit got that hit as a gift when Charlie Maxwell was hit on the leg by a slow-bounding ball hit by Norm Cash in the first inning. And kiddingly, I said to Bob Delaney and Packy McFarland at the home at Champions, wouldn't that be a tough way for Charlie to lose a no-hitter? There's a swing and a miss, strike two. And he's pitched hitless ball since that time. I understand that Bob Delaney's quite a cook, Joe. Yeah, I think he's going home to barbecue a few steaks. Any of you neighbors got nothing better to do, stop over and have some steaks with Bob. Pitch is outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fastball swung and missed, strike 3. 5 strikeouts, right, Joe? How many strikeouts you got? 5 strikeouts for Foytak. Here's Bobby Richardson, 2 for 2. Beat out an infield single, singled to center field, and he's stolen a base. 1 base. Pitch to Bobby is hit to left field. Colavito backing up a little bit, turns now, pounds the glove, makes the catch 2 away. Brings up Tom Tresh. Bounced into a fourth play in the first inning and lined out to right field. Maxwell made a fine running play on Tresh's sinking liner in the third inning. Pitch to Tresh, ball 1. Change up, accidentally hits his bat, goes to third. McAuliffe boots it. Boy, McAuliffe's had a rough time at third in this series. It's an error for the third baseman. As Tresh tried to stop his swing, the ball hit his bat. A soft roll to McAuliffe, who charged in. The ball hit off the heel of his glove right between his legs. 2 out, and here's Joe Pepitone. Pepitone bounced to second and struck out. Pitch to Joe, a curve high, ball 1. Soft toss to first, stretches back. Another throw over there. Tresh back in time. Here's a stretch. Curve is outside, ball 2. 2-0. Pepitone was 2 for 3 in the first game, and Skowron was 2 for 2. So first basemen combined were 4 for 5 in that first ball game. Moose drove in all the runs with a single and a 3-run homer. Fastball, a wild pitch back to the screen, and going to second is Tresh. Wild pitch. That went way over the head of the catcher and back to the screen. Now the Yankees have a runner in scoring position, a 3-0 count on Pepitone, who's looking down at Frank Frasetti. Joe looking for the green light. Like to be able to swing at this 3-0 pitch. He knows that Foytak's got to be around the plate. Maris is coming up next. Pitch to Joe. He swings and misses, strike 1. He got a fastball right down the middle. What a cut he had at it. Three and 1 the count. Here's a 3-1 pitch. A high pop-up to the left side. McAuliffe going back. Fernandez calling for it and makes the catch in short left field. McAuliffe had overrun that ball. He had gone way by it. For the Yankees in the bottom of the fifth, no runs, no hits, one Tiger error, one man left at the end of 5. It's Detroit nothing and the Yankees nothing. The top of the Tiger batting order coming up. Jake Wood, Billy Bruton, and Charlie Maxwell. Pitch to Jake. Foul as he tried to check his swing. Strike one. Jake bounced to short, bounced to second. Curve. Jake started a bunt, took it. The curve ball was over. Strike two. Curve just outside. Ball one. Jake swings, hits one deep to left center. Maris going way back, and he can't get it. It's in between him. There's Wood around second, going to third. And Wood is in with a stand-up triple. Jake Wood hit one deep to left center field. And it looked like Lopez and Maris might have gotten a little mixed up in their signals. They both got to the ball. It dropped between them in deep left center. A triple for Jake Wood. That's the second hit off Shirley. Wood leads off the top of the sixth with a triple, and it'll bring up Billy Bruton. Hit by a pitch ball and bounced to second. The left side of the Yankee infield is in. Boyer and Tresh. Richardson is deep at second, but Pepitone is even with the bag at first. Curley's pitch to Bruton. Outside, ball one. Curley's pitch. Strike, throw to third, and Wood is back safely. Boyer tagged him and fell all over Jake. They apologize to each other. 1-1 the count. Wood leading off third. Fastball low. Ball 2-1. Curley pitching with no wind-up delivery. Fastball hit in the air to center field. That'll be plenty deep enough to score Wood. Maris is back there. Makes the catch. Wood comes on. He'll score easily. The throw is cut off by Richardson out at second base. A sacrifice fly by Billy Bruton. Driving in Jake Wood, and Detroit leads 1-0. Here in the top of the sixth inning. It'll bring up Charlie Maxwell, who walked and flied to center field. One out now, and nobody on. Curve is high, ball one. What? Curve foul at the plate. 1-1. Norm Cash on deck. Curve outside. 2-1. Fastball is low, ball 3. 3-1. All right, Turley's ready. 3-1 fastball popped in the air. Elston Howard in foul territory is moving under it. And Ellie makes the catch for the second out. 2 out, here's Norm Cash. Singled in the first inning, walked in the fourth inning. Two out, nobody on. Detroit leads 1-0. Pitch to Cash is over. Curveball, strike 1. On deck, Rocky Colavito. Fastball popped in the air to short left field. Fresh going back. Lopez coming in. Lopez digging, and he makes the catch on the dead run. Nice play by Hector. For Detroit in the top of the 6th, 1 run, 1 hit, no Yankee errors, nobody left. And at the end of 5 1/2, it's Detroit 1 and the Yankees 0. Bob Sheffing is out there with Jack Hummel, the Tiger trainer. And Cash is going to stay in there. He's shaking the right hand. They put a bandage on it. We're ready to go, and ready to go for the Yankees, Roger Maris, who singled to deep second base in the first inning, fly to center field in the third. Roger was 0 for 4 in the first game. Yankees won the first game 4-1. Paul Foytak into the windup. The pitch to Maris. A drive to deep right center. And that ball is off the scoreboard. Maris goes into second base with a long double. And Billy Bruton almost made another spectacular play, racing far over to right center field. The ball hit the top of the auxiliary scoreboard in right center field. A double for Roger Maris. The 5th hit off Foytak. Brings up Johnny Blanchard, bounce to first, single to right. Pitch to Blanchard, foul back, out of play, strike 1. Hit high in the air, foul again. This one going out of play. Off the upper deck down below and back out on the field. Boy, about 10 people touched that. Couldn't hold on to it. 0-2 on Blanchard. On deck, Elston Howard. Maris at second with nobody out. Outside fastball, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Detroit leads 1-0. stretch by Foytak. Curve way outside. Ball 2-2-2. Foytak really rubbing that ball up. Here's the stretch. Curve, pop, foul. That's coming back on the screen, though, and out of play. Two and two on Blanchard. Rourke out. Have a little chat with Foytak, so we'll pause for station identification. To go. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Maris at second. Fastball popped in the air to short center field. Fernandez going back and makes a beautiful play as Wood brushed against him. Billy Bruton could not have gotten to the ball in time from deep setup. And Chico Fernandez went back, made a running catch with his back to the infield, even though Jake Wood, who was trying for the ball also, bumped into Chico. We've seen about everything happen in this 4-game series with the Yankees and the Tigers. One away, and here's Howard. Ellie fly to center twice. The second time in the 4th inning, Bruton made a sensational catch. Howard has hit in 8 consecutive ball games. On deck, Hector Lopez. The stretch and the pitch to Ellie is a curve over, strike 1 call. Leads off second. Fastball over, strike 2. 0-2 to Howard. Foytak leaning over, getting the sign. Now he's set. Curve hit in the air to center field again. Billy Bruton is camping under this one, though. Maris is going back to tag up. Bruton makes the catch. Here's his throw to third base, and Maris is in there. The ball is cut off by Fernandez. 3 times Howard has flied to Bruton in center. And it brings up Hector Lopez. Been up twice, called out on strikes both times. Detroit 1 and the Yankees nothing. This is the bottom of the 6th inning of the 2nd ball game. And I know it's getting near dinner time. And the old stomach starts barking a little bit. The wind up by Foytak, and the pitch to Lopez is over, strike 1 call. Foytak's next pitch is a curve popped in the air. The third baseman, Dick McAuliffe, is under it. And McAuliffe makes the catch for the 3rd out. For the Yankees in the bottom of the 6th, no runs, 1 hit, no Tiger errors, 1 man left. And at the end of 6 full innings, it's Detroit 1 run on 2 hits and 1 error. And the Yankees no runs on 5 hits and no errors. All right, we're ready to go here in the top of the 7th inning with Detroit leading the Yankees 1-0. Yankees won the first ball game 4-1, and coming in now to carry you the rest of the way, once again, Mel Allen.
Rocky Colavito takes low and outside for a ball as we go to the 7th inning. The Tigers out front 1-0. New York won the opener 4-1. Now the pitch to Colavito is low Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Now the next pitch is in there. Strike 1. Two and 1 the count on Rocky. McAuliffe and Fernandez to follow. The pitch is in there. Strike 2, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. And the Yankee bullpen gets a call. Bob Curley. Ready to go now. In comes the pitch. Curve, cut on, and foul back. Count remains 2-2. Clevenger and Bridges warming up for the Yankees. As we have almost a replay, at least up to now, of the first game, which the Tigers led 1-0, going to the 7th inning. The next pitch is low and inside. Ball 3, 3-2. Next pitch cut on, grounded down to third. Boyer up with it, tosses over to Pepitone. In time, 1 away. Dick McAuliffe fouled out to third and struck out.
We're going to pause right now to remind you that this is WOKO Radio in Albany, New York, the pacemaker station. You'll hear Scott Carpenter's press conference from Cape Canaveral directly following the ball game, 25 minutes before 7.
That at any time the rest of this year the Yankees will get as fine pitching against the Tigers consecutively as they've had in this series, and yet can lose 3 out of the 4 games. The pitch is low outside for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Stafford was as fine as he's been all year on Friday night. The Tigers won that game by 1 run. Yesterday, Sheldon was unusually good. The Yankees lost that one by 1 run. 2-0 pitch is outside, ball 3. Ralph Terry was not involved in the decision in the first game today. Pitched 1 run, 4-hit ball. 3 of the 4 hits came in succession in 1 inning. The 3-0 delivery is in there. Strike 1, 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. It's in there, strike 2. Three-2 pitch swung on, line to right for a base hit. Blanchard takes it, tosses it back in, and McAuliffe is on with a scorching single to right field. That is the second solid hit for the Tigers since the 4th inning of the first game. They had 1 hit in the first inning today, credited because the base runner was hit by a batted ball. Chico Fernandez up. with one away. The pitch is high, ball one. From the standpoint of the pitching, the Yankee pitchers allowed only 3 earned runs in the first 3 games. Bob Charlie delivers. There goes the runner. The ball is hit down the third baseline for extra bases, and McAuliffe will score. He's around third, heading for the plate, and Fernandez goes in with a double. And the Tigers lead 2-0. McAuliffe was on his way, and Fernandez ripped the liner down the third baseline into the corner to send McAuliffe home. And it's 2-0 in favor of Detroit. Fernandez driving in his 15th run of the year with his 6th 2-bagger. Now Mike Rourke took a third strike and grounded to third. 1 out, 1 run in, 2-0 Detroit. Charlie to the stretch. And the pitch. Curveball over, strike 1. Bob all set. Fernandez with a good lead. And the pitch. Swung on and bounced foul down the third baseline. 2 strikes to count. Vic Wirtz and Larry Osborne clowning around over in the corner of the Tiger dugout. A 2-strike count on Mike Rourke. 1 run in and 1 out. Fernandez leads off second. He starts toward third and then darts back, and the pitch is a curve that pops foul. Howard digs after it, has to hurry, and he has it. I don't know whether Fernandez had a notion trying to steal third, breaking a little too fast, or whether he was trying to decoy Charlie into a box. Now Paul Foytack coming up. Struck out and hit for the box. Bob Charlie ready. And the pitch. Curve in there, strike 1. 0-1. Next delivery, curve low outside. Ball 1, 1-1. Curly ready, the 1-1 pitch. Swung on line, down the right field line, foul. Foytack almost had an extra base hit, missed it by a couple of feet. A 1-2 count. New York, 0.
Enjoy today's Valentine beer and taste how Golden Mellow good a beer can be.
Golden Harvest.
Golden Mellow good from the Golden Harvest.
Golden Harvest.
Refreshing and mellow from the Golden Harvest.
Golden Harvest. Golden Mellow. Valentine beer.
Barley, specially grown, hops mellowed 2 weeks longer on the vine. That's the Golden Harvest for Golden Mellow Valentine beer. Next time, better make it Valentine, America's finest since 1840.
So have a golden Valentine. From Valentine's Golden Harvest time. Refreshing and mellow every time. Golden Mellow. Valentine beer.
It's the last half of the seventh inning. Clete Boyer at bat. Bob Curley's schedule to follow, and then Bobby Richardson. 2-0. Tigers leading. Yankees won the opener 4-1. The pitch is swung on, line to right field for a base hit by Clete Boyer. Throw comes back into Jake Wood, and Berra will hit for Curley. Yogi was hitless in 4 trips in the first game, played left field. Detroit leading 2-0. Paul Poitak giving up his 6th hit. The right-hander's pitch is in there. Strike one to Yogi. Right-hander ready, delivers outside, ball 1, 1-1. One ball, one strike. And the pitch. Yogi cuts and fouls a curve over toward the Yankee dugout. Strike 2, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Poitak delivers to Yogi. Curve swung on, little roller. Hit to Cash. His throw is to second base to force Boyer. Berra grounding slowly to Cash, who went wide of first and through to Fernandez, forcing Boyer. 1 out, and the batter is Bobby Richardson. Had 2 singles and fly to left. Tigers leading 2-0 in the 7th inning. Poitak's pitch is outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. New York won the first game 4-1. Paul Poitak from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Winner makes his home now in Dearborn, Michigan, but he's born and raised in Scranton. His father's down here today watching him work. Into the stretch, the pitch to Bobby. Swung on, and it's a high pop out into short center. Jake Wood, the second baseman, goes out to make the catch. They're 2 away, and up comes Tom Tresh. Hits to the box, line to right, and was safe on an error by third baseman McAuliffe. The pitch is high outside. Ball one. One ball, no strikes. Tresh, a switch hitter, batting left-handed against Forsythe. And the delivery. Swung on. It's a high fly ball into center. Billy Bruton has had a busy day getting under it. Makes the catch and the sides retire. No runs, one hit, no errors, one left on. The Yankees have had one man left on base over each of the last 6 innings. They had 2 men left on base in the first inning. At the end of 7 innings, Detroit 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. New York no runs, 6 hits, and no errors. Tigers have stranded 4. Who is the Ale man? We'll have Marshall Bridges coming in to pitch as we go to the 8th inning. Looking at the scoreboard, Baltimore beat Boston 4-2. Cleveland, the winner over Washington, 5-3. Minnesota leading Chicago 5-4, playing the last of the 9th of the first game. They were late getting started because of rain. Kansas City nosed out Los Angeles 3-2 in the first game. In the National League, the Giants beat the Mets 7-1. Second game scoreless at the end of an inning. Los Angeles 3, Philadelphia nothing into 5 innings in the first game. Pittsburgh 7, Houston 2 at the end of 8.5 innings. Cincinnati shut out Chicago 10-0. And Milwaukee trimmed St. Louis 4-3. The Yankees are in Kansas City tomorrow night. 10 o'clock airtime. Game time, 9:55 airtime. And Tuesday afternoon at 3:25. Then Wednesday on the holiday, be on the air at 12 noon for the first game. Jake Wood up in the 8th inning. Takes the strike from Marshall Bridges, making his 11th appearance of the year with a record of 1 win, no losses. Wait a minute, I said 11th, 12th. He worked part of the first game. Here's the pitch. Swung on and popped high into right. Richardson out, and Bobby makes the catch. One away. And to play that one is back to the plate. Jake Wood, who tripled in the 6th inning and scored on Bruton's sacrifice fly for the first run. Here's Billy Bruton now. Nicked by a pitch, grounded to second, sacrifice fly to center. Bridges into the windup. The pitch is low outside for a ball. Bubba Morton will hit for Charlie Maxwell, with Bob Sheffing declaring the intended to alternate the two against left and right hand pitching during Kaline's absence. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled off, out of play, and therefore decked. A 1-1 count. Two to nothing Detroit in the 8th inning. And the pitch. It's bunted at. Did he hold back? Looks as if he started to bunt. He pulled the bat back, I guess. It's a 2-1 count. And the next pitch. Swung on and fouled back, and the ball sticks in the screen. 2-2 to count. Bridges into the windup, and the pitch is low. Ball 3, 3-2. The 3-2 delivery. Swung on. A ground ball hit too short, and it'll be beaten out. The ball is bobbled additionally by Tresh. Hit it off the end of the bat. We'll await the official score's decision, and it is a base hit for Billy Bruton. Now Bubba Morton comes up to bat for Charlie Maxwell. Right-hand hitter. He's had 3 for 11. Norm Cash on deck. Bob Sheffing whistles to get somebody's attention. Bridges checks the runner. The pitch to Morton is low and inside. Ball 1. Tigers leading 2-0 in the 8th inning. New York won the first game 4-1. And the next pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 1, 1-1. The next pitch is low outside, ball 2, 2-1. Bridges in the first game came in to relieve, and he kept looking down at the mound as he made some pitches that were wide of the plate. He fared all right. Had a little trouble. And the pitch. Swung on, a little roller, trickler. Bridges grabs it, fires to first base in time. Good play by the pitcher. Down to second goes Bruton. Bridges really got off that mound in a hurry. He fielded that ball right at the third base line, about halfway down the line almost. Now Norm Cash, who had an infield hit in the first inning, walked and flied to left. The pitch is low outside, ball 1. Tigers leading 2-0 in the 8th inning. Now the pitch, and it's low. Bob Turley worked a fine 7 innings, giving up 4 hits and 2 runs. 2 of the 4 hits in the 7th inning. The 2-0 pitch to Cash in there, strike 1, 2-1. Bridges delivers, swung on, hit foul, to the left of the plate upstairs. Strike 2, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch swung on and fouled off. Count remains 2-2. The Yankees will be gone for a week. Kansas City, Minnesota, Los Angeles, and then they come back and catch lightning in a bottle again. Cleveland, Baltimore, Detroit. Here's the pitch, and it's low, ball 3. They have 3 games with Cleveland. Night games on Tuesday and Thursday, June 5th and 7th. A day game on the 6th. 5-game series with the Orioles. 3-2 pitch is low outside. He walks Cash, the left-hand batter, and up comes Colavito. And Ralph Houck is out of the dugout. It was in the same spot in the first game. that Bridges struck out Cash for the second out, and Colavito's coming up. Oh, it was in the ninth inning. And Houck brought in Jim Coates. And he's going to bring in a right-hander now, and it may be Jim Coates again, but we'll see. Baltimore will be here Friday night, the 8th, Saturday afternoon, the 9th, doubleheader Sunday, the 10th, and Monday night, the 11th. Detroit comes right back Tuesday night, the 12th of June, and Wednesday afternoon, the 13th. It will be Tex Clevenger coming in to pitch to Colavito. And we'll pause for station identification.
A cheerful earful each Monday through Friday morning on the Bob Cathcart Show, 11 till 1 on WOKO Albany, New York. Scott Carpenter's press conference directly following the ball game. 30 seconds before 7, the time now.
The Yankees won the first game 4-1 for any who may have tuned in late, when Skowron hit a ninth inning 3-run homer to break a 1-1 tie. Frank Larry and Ralph Terry were the starting pitchers, but it was Coates who was the winning pitcher. He worked to one batter, and Gallagher the loser. Frank Larry went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits without a run. His arm tightened, and then Ron Klein came in and worked a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits and 1 run. An inning in which the Tigers used 4 pitchers, 1 short of the record. Yankees had the bases loaded, nobody out, got 1 run in, and that was when Skowron batted for Pepitone, hit a little trickler down the third baseline, tied the score. Then in the 9th inning, after a walk and an error, Skowron had put runners on first and second. Skowron missed the bunt. Richardson was running and was out at third base, but as he slid, he kicked the ball out of McAuliffe's hand, so went safe. Thus, that changed Ralph Houck's strategy. And he let Skowron swing away, and he hit it in the stands. That's the way this whole series has been. Here's Rocky Colavito. Bruton on second, Cash on first, 2 outs. Tex Clevenger, the right-hander, delivers, curve low outside, ball 1. Colavito flying to center, popped to second, grounded to third. 2-0 Tigers. Clevenger's pitch, low, ball 2. Throwing the sinker, but missing the strike zone. McAuliffe is on deck. Now the 2-0 pitch. It's low, ball 3. Nothing pitch on the way is over. Strike 1, 3-1. 3-1 count on Colavito. Bruton moves off second, Cash off first, 2 away. And the 3-1 pitch. Swung on and hit foul down the third base line. Strike 2. Full count. Billy Bruton on second, and Norm Cash on first will be off and running with the pitch. Tigers leading 2-0 after dropping the opener 4-1. Tex Clevenger brought in to pitch to Colavito. Full count. Into the stretch, runners ready to go. There they go, and the pitch is low outside, ball 4. Bases are loaded. And up comes Dick McAuliffe, a left-hand batter. Bruton moves to third, Cash to second, and Colavito to first. Bases loaded, and Dick McAuliffe, who fouled the third, struck out and singled, is the batter. He singled in the 7th with 1 out and scored on Fernandez' double. McAuliffe, Fernandez, and Wood have really been the big guys of the bat in this series for Detroit. Now with 3 men on, here's the pitch. It's in there for a strike. Bruton, Cash, and Colavito leading away. The windup and the pitch. It's low for a ball, 1-1. Wood has had a pair of key triples. McAuliffe, a clutch 3-run homer, and scored the second run in this game. Three runners lead away. The 1-1 pitch to McAuliffe. Outside, ball 2, 2-1. Three men lead away. The 2-1 pitch to McAuliffe is low, ball 3, 3-1. Up and the 3-1 pitch. It's low, ball 4, and it forces in a run. Billy Bruton comes home. Cash moves to third. Colavito to second. 3 straight walks with 2 outs and 1 on have given the Tigers a run. They lead 3-0, and the batter is Chico Fernandez, who has been the other big gun. He hit a homer that made the difference Friday night. He had a double in the 7th inning. Here's the pitch. Swung on and line foul for a strike down the left field line. 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. 1 run in, 3-0 Detroit. It's the 8th inning. Cash on third, Colavito on second, and McAuliffe on first. Tex Clevenger into the windup, and the pitch on the way. Swung on, lined into left field for a base hit. Scoring Cash, Colavito around third. He comes in to score, and the Tigers have a big inning. Fernandez singles to left to drive in 2 runs. Scoring Cash and Colavito, 3 runs in the inning, and it's 5-0 in favor of Detroit. Up comes Mike Rourke, who struck out, grounded to third, and fouled to the catcher. Tex Clevenger walked 2 and given up a single. 3 walks and a single with 2 outs. The pitch inside for a ball. McAuliffe stopped at second. Now the pitch sails inside, ball 2, 2-0. Clevenger's delivery swung on, grounded to short. Tresh up with it, throws to Richardson, forcing Fernandez. The side's retired. 3 runs for Detroit. 2 hits, no Yankee errors, 2 men left on. And at the end of 7.5 innings, Detroit 5 and New York nothing.
So Golden Mellow's good. Today's Valentine beer. Have you tried it? So Golden Mellow's good. Golden Mellow, Valentine beer. Barley, specially grown. Hops, mellowed 2 weeks longer on the vine. That's the golden harvest for Golden Mellow Valentine beer. Next time, better make it Valentine, America's finest since 1840. So have a golden Valentine. From Valentine's Golden Harvest Time. Refreshing and mellow every time. Golden Mellow, Valentine beer.
Now as we play in the last half of the 8th inning, Joe Pepitone, Roger Maris, and Johnny Blanchard coming up. Bubba Morton in right field in place of Maxwell, for whom he batted. Time has been called for a moment. Tigers are leading by a score of 5-0. And someone broke loose on the field, and the police have him, and he'll spend the night in the jug, according to the law. Joe Pepitone will be the first man up in the last half of the 8th inning. Pepitone grounded to second, struck out, and popped out to short. Paul Pointak into the windup, and the pitch to Joe, swung on and missed. Strike 1. 0-1 the count. Paul has has scattered the 6 hits he has allowed, gave up 2 in the first inning. Next pitch swung on and missed. Strike 2, 0-2. Wojtek went the distance against Boston on the 11th of May. Otherwise, has not gone more than 6 innings in 7 2/3 innings last outing. Next pitch is high and away. Ball 1, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch, curveball outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes on Joe Pepitone. Next pitch is swung on and popped foul. Coming back toward the screen and out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes. Now the delivery, swung on and fouled back. Count remains 2-2. A 2-2 count on Joe Pepitone. Paul Wojtek ready to go. Into the windup, and the pitch swung on and popped up and behind the plate. Rourke under it, waiting, and he has it. 1 away. Here's Roger Maris, who had an infield hit in the first inning, flied to center, and doubled in the 6th. Pitch is outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strike. A 1-0 count on Raj. And the pitch. Outside, ball 2, 2-0. 5-0 in favor of Detroit in the 8th inning. The 2-0 pitch, and Maris takes outside for ball 3. 3-0. Yankees take on off tonight for KC. Play there tomorrow night, Tuesday afternoon. The 3-0 delivery is low, ball 4. Maris draws a walk. Up comes Johnny Blanchard, who grounded to first, single to right, and flied to center. Of the 3 runs scored in the first half of the 8th inning, 2 were charged to Bridges, 1 to Clevenger, and those charged to Bridges are the first earned runs off in this season. The pitch to Blanchard is low and inside. 1 ball, no strike. And the next pitch swung on. There's a tap foul down the first baseline to Wally Moses. 1-1 the count. Wally hadn't had too much traffic down that way today. course, the Crow hasn't around the third. The 1-1 pitch is up high. Ball 2. 2-1. Two balls, one strike, one out, one on. 5-0 Detroit. It's the 8th inning. Wojciech's delivery is in there. Strike 2. Got the outside of the plate. The largest American League crowd of the season out here today, 46,776. Largest National League crowd is a little over 52,000 out of Los Angeles back around April 10th. Next pitch, low inside, ball 3. Full count. And the 3-2 pitch sails outside for ball 4. And Maris moves to second. And out of the dugout now is Bob Sheffing. Fields has called Wojciech is tiring, and with a good big lead, knowing that they can be dissipated in a hurry. Some managers will go ahead and have one extra hitter, and some won't. He's out there talking to Wojciech now, and he may have his mind made up already. He's going to let him stay in. Most managers have their minds made up before they go out there. You ought to hear the stories they tell you about the times the pitchers said, let me just pitch this one more hitter. Skip out, I can get him out. Before he's back to the dugout, boom, there's the next ball into the stands. Elston Howard, nothing for 3. Takes the curve just outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 5-0 Detroit. It's the 8th inning. Yankees won the first game 4-1. And the next pitch. The count sails inside. Almost 6 the NY off Howard's uniform. Without permission of the club. 2 balls, no strikes. Maris on second, Blanchard on first, 1 out. And the pitch, low outside, ball 3. You can see he's tired. I guess Bob figured the fellow's done such a great job up to now and let him go on if he felt like it. At least 1 more batter. And the 3-0 pitch. It sails inside. Ball 4. They're loaded up. Maris moves to third. Blanchard to second. Howard to first. Hector Lopez is the batter. Klein and Nischwitz are in the bullpen. Sheffing has not come out. Three men on, 1 out. And the delivery. It's in there for a strike. Lopez struck out twice and popped to third. 3 men lead away, and the pitch. It's in there. Strike 2. 0-2. This has been a weird series. Two strikes on Hector Lopez, 1 out. The windup and the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. How about that? Walked 3 men in a row and turned around and struck out the next man on 3 pitches. Here's Clete Boyer. Walked, struck out, single to right. $5-0 Tigers, 8th inning. Clete will be swinging the first pitch if he thinks it's to his liking. Here it is, and it's outside, ball 1. Maris on third, Blanchard on second, Howard on first. 2 down. The Yankees had men on base in every inning. They stayed there, too. Here's the pitch. It's a little outside, and Foytek didn't like that one. Ball 2, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Three men on. 5-0 Detroit. And the pitch. It's high, ball 3. 3-0. Paul Foytek now will just fire this one down the middle. And it is outside, ball 4. Forces in a run. He aimed it down the middle. The ball just sailed away. Maris scores. Blanchard to third, Howard to second, Boyer to first, and Skowron will bat for Clevenger. Is credited with a run batted in at 5-1. 4 walks. And here's the Moose, who won the first game with a home run with 2 on. Drove in all the Yankee runs. And the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Three men on, 2 outs. 5-1 Detroit. The wind-up, the pitch to Skowron. Swung on, a bouncer, hit to short. Up with it is Wood, steps on second, forcing Boyer, and the side is retired. Skowron grounding to Jake Wood for the unassisted force out at second of Boyer. 1 run for New York without benefit of a base hit. 4 walks. There were no Tiger errors and 3 Yankees left on. 11 they've left on in this game. 10 of 8 innings. Detroit 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. With 6 left on, Yankees 1 run, 6 hits, no errors, 11 men left on. On the Ballantyne scoreboard, Baltimore in 11 innings beat Boston 4-2. Sox beat Rabbits. Robertson, DeLocke were the starters. Home runs: Brooks Robinson, Russ Snyder, Jim Gentile. Gentile's 15th to lead the league. Cleveland took Washington 5-3. Perry beat Daniels. Home runs: Francona and Kirkland and Johnson for Washington. Minnesota nosed out Chicago in the first game 5-4. Cott beat Herbert. Banks homering in the 6th with 1 on. The second game will be Lee and Pizarro. Kansas City took Los Angeles 3-2 in the first game. Wickersham the winner, Duran the loser in relief. Donahue had started. Second game, 1-1, ended 2.5. Gerba and Vista. In the National League, the San Francisco Giants beat the Mets 7-1. Sanford besting Craig. Hickman homered Holler homered for San Francisco in the 8th inning. In the second game, the Mets lead 3-0 to end of 3.5 innings. Jackson against McCormick. Hickman homering in the second with 2 on. Los Angeles 4, Philadelphia nothing. 10 to 7.5 innings. Williams for Los Angeles. Brown for Philadelphia. Short in the 6th. Sullivan in the 8th. Roseboro homered for the Dodgers in the second. Howard was on, Frank Howard, but he failed to touch third base. So only 1 run scored. Roseboro. If it had been 2 outs, when any runs, no runs would have been scored. He'd lost the homer. Pittsburgh beat Houston 7-2. Law all the way to win. Johnson the loser. Cincinnati shut out Chicago 10-0. Perky all the way to win. Cardwell the loser. Coleman and Pinson homering. Pinson with 2 on. I believe that's Pinson's 13th home run. Milwaukee beat St. Louis 4-3. Shaw all the way to win, and Gibson the loser. We pause for station identification.
This is WOKO in Albany, New York, the pacemaker station. The time is 7:31.
Jim Bouton comes in to pitch for New York in the 9th inning. And Paul Foytak is up. The delivery swung on and hit foul. The on first is going to be out of play. Strike 1. Tex Clevenger, whom Bouton replaces, worked a third of an inning. Allowed 1 hit that drove in 2 runs. He walked a pair. And was charged with 1 run. 5-1 Detroit. 9th inning. New York won the first game 4-1. Bouton's delivery is in there for a strike. 0-2. This young fellow could be of great value to the Yankees before the year's over. Curve outside, 1-2. He has a lot to learn, as don't we all. But what I meant was, of course, he's relatively inexperienced. The next pitch swung on, hit off the pitcher's glove out to second. Richardson up with it, flips on the Pepitone. Foytak is out. An assist for Bouton. Here's Jake Wood. Grounded to short, popped to second, tripled to left center, and popped out to second. The pitch to Wood is inside for a ball. A 1-0 count. And the delivery. It's inside. Ball 2, 2-0. Tigers 5, Yankees 1. It's the 9th inning. And the pitch. Swung on. There's a high fly ball into left center. Maris moves under it. And he makes the catch. 2 away in the 9th inning. And the batter's Bill Bruton. Hit by a pitch ball. Grounded to second. Sacrifice fly to center. And an infield hit to short. Bubba Morton on deck. Jim Bouton's pitch. It's a little bit outside or perhaps low. A 1-0 count. And the pitch is outside. Ball 2, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch is swung on, grounded to second. Richardson bobbles it, picks it up, throws to first, and just in time. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on. At the end of 8.5 innings, Detroit 5, New York 1.
Taste how golden mellow good a beer can be. Taste today's Valentine beer. Golden mellow good from the Golden Harvest. Valentine's Golden Harvest is barley, specially grown, and hops mellowed 2 weeks longer than any others. Next time, better make it Valentine. Valentine beer, America's finest since 1840.
So have a golden, golden Valentine from Valentine's Golden Harvest time. Refreshing and mellow every time. Golden mellow. Valentine, Valentine beer.
Bobby Richardson in the last of the ninth takes the strike. Paul Foytak with a 5-1 lead. Top of the New York order. And the pitch. It's in there. 7-2. Bobby has had 2 for 4. Now the 2-strike pitch is curved low outside. Ball 1, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Tiger trainer had an imaginary gun in his hand trying to shoot some live pigeons. Here's the pitch, swung on, loops into center. Coming on is Bruton, and he takes it. 1 away. I'll mark him for 7 putouts in this game. Tom Trashup batting left-handed against Paul Foytak, and the pitch is outside and high. Ball 1. And the next pitch. In there, strike 1. 1-1. Five to 1 Detroit. It's the 9th inning. Yankees won the first game 4-1. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch, high outside, ball 2, 2-2. The 2-2 delivery, swung on and fouled off beyond third out of play into the upper deck. Now the 2-2 offering. High, ball 3, 3-2. A full count on Tom Trex. The 3-2 pitch swung on and bounced down to Cash. First baseman outruns Trex first, and they're 2 away in the last of the ninth. That brings up Joe Pepitone. He's nothing for 4 in this game. Now the pitch swung on. There's a high fly ball in the center. Bruton under it, and he makes the catch, and the ball game is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on. And the Tigers take the second game 5-1, and 3 out of 4 from the Yankees.